welcome our next speaker, Sonam Wangdu. Sonam Wangdu is the chairman of U.S. Tibet Committee, which is the oldest Tibet support group in the United States.
I wonder if the Chinese regret that they ever applied for the Olympic Games. I wonder. The reason I say that is Tibetans are coming back into China, in Beijing, to launch their protest. Tibetan supporters are climbing up the Great Wall to display banners opposing the Olympics. Tibetans are going inside Tibet to challenge Chinese rule. And I think it's just the beginning. I wonder if they regret they ever got the Olympic or World Games. What do you think? Everyone is young. I think everyone is educated. You are very different from what we were back in 1959 when the exile first came out. And I said, and as earlier speakers said, many of you are born in exile, much more educated than many of those people who came out. You are politically savvy, technologically savvy, and you are equipped to do many things that the challenges ahead lays for us. As young people, I think you have an enormous responsibility, as we all do. As we heard from His Holiness' speech, as well as Kashak, the Tibetan government and His Holiness has tried very hard to reach a settlement with the Chinese. But the Chinese have not responded to it with any significant or any meaningful way. So I think it is up to us, the Tibetans, the Tibetan people and Tibetan supporters, to do what we can. Freedom of Tibetan people is our duty. I say that because we are in exile. We are free people. We have the right, we have the obligation to carry on the missions that over 1.2 million people laid their lives for. So if in exile, in freedom, we cannot do what we must, I think history will judge us for failing as we judge older generations, previous governments, for their failure to our situation today. So we have to be prepared to accept that responsibility, and we have an obligation to do what we can. So I think what we need to do is, we have the Olympics coming up, there are a lot of work to do. I think we need people to volunteer, to march, to do work, and we need donations to support different activities all around the country, all around the world. Last year, when there was this hunger strike in Delhi, I was in India and I heard that over $50,000 was raised in New York alone to support that effort. So I think that's a remarkable thing. But now we have a greater game to play. We've got to challenge China on its terms. And I think you have the ability to do it. You have the technical knowledge, you have the skills, you have the youth, and you have the political savvy and imagination to do it. So I think you need to do that. We all have to try and do our very best to make the Chinese leaders aware that Tibetans are not going to go away. The younger generations are going to be much more aggressive than we have ever been. We all have a responsibility. Let's share the responsibilities to do it. It's not His Holiness alone who must work hard. And I know you people, you all realize how hard His Holiness works. There's never a time when he can rest. When he comes overseas, he is giving teachings and he's meeting endlessly people, day in, day out, year in, year out. No healthy person can survive that kind of a rural schedule. So I think we have a responsibility. We owe him our obligation to carry on some of the burden, take responsibility, and let us be judged by history, by what we can do and by what we do. Because if we don't, history will judge us. So I think we all have a great deal of responsibility. And I know that many of you will participate, and I know there are many Tibetans in this city who have not been able to come today. But maybe what they can do is, instead of, they can make donations. They will be need money to finance many of these activities. So I appeal to you all to do that. And for younger people, technologically savvy, politically awareness, there are many things that you can do. Because the march from Dharamsala to Delhi and then from Delhi to Tibet, it's a long march. It's going to be a trying times. But it's not just the Tibetans who are going to be marching to Tibet. I think more importantly, or equally important, perhaps much more dangerous, are the things that's going to take place in Tibet. I think we can all be aware and understand that many people may die inside Tibet. And for that, I think if they die without us knowing, without the world knowing the sacrifices they make for freedom that they deserve, we would have failed in some ways to do justice to them. So we have an obligation to make sure that there are ways that their demonstrations, their sacrifices are brought out to the world as we have done. Like Lam Teba, when she was in China, she was able to block all her activities. Same thing could be done all around. And I'm sure China is aware that this is not just the beginning. I mean, this is just the beginning. There's going to be a lot more of this happening until the Olympics is over. But our struggle is not between now and the Olympics. Our struggle is much longer. So I think we have to be determined. We have to make the commitment, as you have done here today, by coming over here. Although the weather is much warmer than we have ever had in the past. But still, I think I would like to thank you all for coming, and will urge that we continue in our struggle to do what we can for our country, for our people, especially those Tibetans who are inside Tibet, who are sacrificing their lives. For them, we owe that. For those people who have died, 1.2 million, we owe that. We have an obligation for that. So let's join our hands and make sure that we do our share. Make your contributions, volunteer your time, give your talent to make this struggle a successful one for those people inside Tibet. Thank you very much.